Hello. Hey, do you notice that all these YouTubers, they also have some sort of a catchphrase, don't they? You know, I don't know. What's cracking? Yeah. Hello, YouTube. Um, should I have a catchphrase? Hello, comrades. I like that one. Comrades. Anyway, so it's the end of January, and as I said, I'm always playing it by ear. I like to evaluate and make any necessary changes. What I've been thinking, because let's go back a little bit. Yeah, after Christmas, I took a video of myself, and I was relatively fluffy. Let's say fluffy. That's a nice term for fat, isn't it? But I was relatively fattened up after Christmas. I'm only human. I've got a family. I like to have a good time. So all January I've been sort of like doing this fat burning thing. It's been sort of like a double prong. Not only the training but also the diet. So the training's been light and fast and plenty of it, which I've said it before in previous videos. I don't see that as being ideal for building muscle, for hypertrophy. It is what it is. It's fat burning. It's just speeding up the process, getting it out of the way, really. Because I find it boring. It really is. It's boring because you are not really going for performance goals, which I suppose they're instant gratification, which we all like. Anyway, what I'm thinking, regardless of what I said previously, be like water. Be like water. Just react to the reality. Don't be an absolutist. Don't think that there is anything absolutely concrete in this game. There isn't. If you rely on science, all the studies are basically flawed. A lot of it's done on beginners. What does a study done on three 20-year-old beginners? Or, let's say a study involving a cohort of 20-year-old beginners. How does it apply to me at 58 in 6 days' time, I believe? Okay. You have to take notice of the scientific studies. That's all we've got. That's the way science is. Science is not absolutist. Science is always evolving. Eventually certain positions become entrenched, and it's very difficult to imagine that they're wrong. But oftentimes things that we took for granted are eventually overturned. I mean, I have a great problem at this moment in time with saturated fat. I find that, ideally, I would like to eat a lot of products that contain a lot of saturated fat, and I would be happy to do so. But, the science is cautionary. It's not absolute, though. So anyone who says saturated fat is harmless, or it's only harmful in the context of a bad diet involving lots of sugar, etc., they may well be completely correct. But at this moment in time, the science is not saying that. So, I'm wary. But that's just one example. As regards training methodologies, again, there is no absolute protocol. There is no absolutely proven protocol. Fools rush in. Fools rush in. People with PhDs will tell you, we don't know it all by far. The scientific study. I suppose the motivation. The financial aspect of proving exercise protocols is not that great. The motivation for scientific studies is not that great. In many ways, people who are taking this to a relatively high level, or beyond the basics, they're simply feeling their way, myself included. Anyway, long story short, I've decided that for this month, February, and I like to reassess on a monthly basis. You know, why do we work in weeks and months, etc.? It's just convenient. But this month, I've decided that I'm gonna bring the the fat burning aspect to a close. Not that I'm contest lean or anything like that. But it's just good enough. I think I'm good enough. I think I've achieved what I set out to do, which was more or less regain my condition before the Christmas festivities. Okay, I don't know if you can see that there's an ab or two. Yeah, I mean obviously I could go down further and further and further. You could do a year of dieting down and become a transparent anatomy chart. For what? Yeah, to entertain people watching me on YouTube. I'm not going to go through all that. I think it's good enough. Your opinion may vary. I'm not looking to step on stage in a pair of I don't know, pink posing trunks or whatever the bodybuilders bodybuilders wear. Yeah, I mean this is as good as it gets for me. Yeah, that's it. That's as good as it gets. Okay, that's cold. No warm up involved. Nothing. That's it. Yeah, I can live with that for sure. Would I like to be leaner? Yeah, probably a bit. I would actually. Yeah, I mean, I would like to be leaner, but I would also like to have more fuel and eat more because that's something that I enjoy more than being a marginally leaner. So, what am I going to do today? Well, I'm still okay. So, bit up in the air. I'm still thinking about it, but I like the idea of for building muscle, not for so this is a different approach altogether now. This is an attempt to build some more muscle or to regain some muscle. Yeah. I'm going to train. Well, as before I outlined, pull, push, legs. Okay. So it's a three-way split. But what I was previously conceiving was pull, push, legs, day off, repeat. So that would be 6 sessions in 8 days. Now that's I think that for fat burning that is all well and good, but for building muscle, I'm not so sure. I would say it's not ideal. I think you need a lot more rest. You don't build muscle doing the movements. The movements are simply part of the process. The actual construction phase comes with rest. Now, I don't believe that you have to totally rest. I believe that, for example, I could do my upper body today and maybe a day off or maybe not, and then do lower body. And the upper body will continue to recover in spite of the fact that I'm stressing the whole system by doing the lower body. I don't think that the body is so fragile that it can't carry out its recovery, restoration, recuperation, adaptation, and at the same time cope with further demand through exercise. I think you can do it. Yeah. Okay. Some people don't think so, but I do. Okay. Well, let's put it this way: the muscularity that I've attained so far has not come through doing one session a week or whatever. A lot. When I was at my powerlifting peak, I think that when I had the maximum amount of muscle, but I had a lot of fat as well. But when I had the maximum amount of muscle, I was training 3 days a week. Okay, and I tend to remember that 2 of those were squat days. Okay, and on the day that I didn't squat, there would be a bench press day, a bench and a deadlift day. So it either went squat bench or it went bench dead. Yeah. So, for example, typically Sunday would be squat bench, Tuesday would be bench dead, and Thursday would be squat bench. Maybe at the end you'd mess about with some bodybuilding stuff, high reps on the machines or whatever, some abs and all that sort of thing. Yeah, but that was a general pattern, and I found that I could cope with that. I could recover from that. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is going to be back. It's going to be a long session, but I'm only going to show you a little bit of it. I'm going to show you the, as before, just the pull-ups, that's it. But rather than doing sort of like 10 sets EMOM, which again I think is a fat burning protocol, I'm going to do 10 sets on the 3 minutes. So one set per 3 minutes, which should give me a lot more rest between sets, so hopefully the performance will pick up. I'm actually going to start off weighted, at least start off weighted. Okay, that's my previous performance. I don't know if you can see that. So that was achieved EMOM. So can you see 10, 7, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. Okay, and I hope to, I don't know, very hard to compare 3 minutes to EMOM. So whatever happens, happens. And as I say, I'm going to be adding weight as well. So it's a very different session, I suppose. Just a light warm up. I think that does something for lats, rear delts. Quite hard to get a dislocate in here. Restricted space. Okay, tighten it up. Oh, that's harder, for sure. Okay. Just a bit of lubrication, warming it up a little bit. I'm not a great fan of warm-ups. But yeah, instant gratification. You want to get straight into it. It's always the first set that I find most interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go with 5 kilos when I eventually get going. Now, I find with the pull-ups, I'm not too keen on the eccentric work on the pull-up. Don't know why. Just well, it's a bit of an ego thing, like to get numbers. But on many, especially the cable work that I'm going to do after this, that you're not going to see, it will be emphasising the eccentric. Okay, so that's just 10 sets, 3 minutes, no rest between the 3 minutes, so 3 minutes is enough. What I tend to do for the the last few sets, let's say, is emphasise the last eccentric portion of the rep at the end. All helps. So here we go, see what I get. I don't think I'm going to get 10 with this weight on, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I didn't get 10, so nice 10. Yeah, as I say, I find with pull-ups that, ooh, went right to my head. No brought there, 5k, 10. Yeah, I find with pull-ups that messing about, sort of like doing the eccentric, just something else to think about. You know, it's quite hard to monitor your progress. And for some reason, which it's purely subjective, it's purely, I don't know, emotional attachment, I suppose. I've always been interested in pull-up performance, as in how many can you do? How many pull-ups can you do? I would really love to do 20, which I've never achieved in my life. So, that might be that's a good goal for the latter end of my training career. Previously I've always been too heavy to do that sort of thing, just going for the big weights. But as I get, so I don't know, older and gnarly, maybe that is an actual performance goal that will improve. As I say, I'll play it by ear, see what happens. Okay, so I've still got the 5 kilo attached for the next set. See how many we get. I'm going to bet that it won't be 10. Yeah, and next time I do this, which will be next week or so, probably start with more than 5 kilos. But for the time being, I'm still going for that 10 rep ideal, even though it is an ideal rather than an absolute concrete reality. Okay, here we go. See what happens. Get ready, BP. Go on then. Oh, 7. Okay, which surprisingly matches the previous. So previously I went 10-7. Even though this time around the parameters are very, very different. So extended the rest period, added the weight, and it still came out at the same amount of reps, which probably tells you something about how the body works. You tend to get good at specific tasks. So last time, what did we get? 5. Yeah, so possibly, because of the added rest, I might just about equal all the previous rep numbers. That could happen. We'll see. Don't know if you all trend to music. I usually do. Uh, Obviously, YouTube doesn't allow you to play copyrighted music. Normally, my normal training would be accompanied by some, some pleasant, soothing punk rock or whatever. Yeah, I can't stand all that stuff like that death metal stuff. Oh, how people listen to that, I don't know. I don't know whatever it's called. It just all sounds the same to me. It just sounds horrible. I also like stuff like techno and euphoric music. Why? I don't know why. It's just that, especially when I'm doing cardio, it's just sort of like that rhythm. It's just that endless rhythm. It just seems to match your heart rate and everything. It's almost like it's almost like your mind is part of a machine, a little a running machine or a biking machine. Here we go. 5 at least. Come on, 5. One more. 6. 10, 7, 6. All with the 5 kilo weight. Okay, I'll do a couple more with the 5 kilo. So that's half the sets with 5 kilo, half the sets body weight. Yeah. And I think in many ways, the music is just a distraction. When you do it, especially when you're doing sort of like distance work, long distance work, you don't want to be thinking, oh, I've got to do another 3 kilometers, oh, I've got another 20 minutes to go. You don't want to be thinking that at all. You want to take your mind, basically, unless you're doing some sort of high intensity sprint interval type thing where it's quite demanding, so you have to think about it. But basically, you want to take your mind off the task. When you're doing this sort of thing, lifting, yeah, I mean, when you're actually doing the actual lift itself, it doesn't take too long. But in between sets, it's nice to have some music. But as I say, we can't have everything. It's something about copyright law, so we have to observe that or pay the price. Another minute rest. Well, comrades, let's see what happens this time. Get another 6. Even with the 3 minute rest interval, I can still feel the elevated heart rate. I thought because I'm not doing the EMOM that I'm not going to bother putting the watch on it, but yeah, maybe next time I will. Just start with fun, see what happens. Okay, here we go. So try for 6 again, hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully you can see every rep extends fully down and every rep is chin over the band. So they're pretty much carbon copy. That was another 6. So far with the weight, 10, 7, 6, 6. One more, then I'll take the weight off. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you think. I'm just assuming that this method of longer rests and more work done per set. Previously 10,755 no weight. This time 10,766 with a weight. So it is more work done per set. I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that is more effective from a hypertrophic point of view. But I could well be wrong. Maybe the density, in other words, how much work you do in a given period of time, is a much more important factor. In my mind, I think it very possible that either method could inflict more or less muscular demand, therefore muscle injury, therefore recovery adaptation. But whatever the actual concrete reality of that situation, I think that psychologically the monthly switchover to something very different, or at least somewhat different, let's say, the monthly switchover is a psychological relief. To do the same protocol over and over and over and over again is psychologically very demanding. And I do think it is part of the body's protective mechanism. The body's saying, don't do it. Yeah? We didn't like that. Don't do it again. Here we go. So 6 again, I hope. And a nice eccentric. Yeah, I find that very hard to control on this. Okay, we're going to go down to body weight. So 0 kilos body weight. That's it. We're on body weight. Yeah, the rest of the session, which is going to comprise of, let me think, let me check, seated row, shrug, pulley curl, rear delts with dumbbells. They're all going to be 10 sets of 10 EMOM. So I'm not going to completely abandon the EMOM style yet. Maybe next month, we'll see how this month goes. So there's a radical change, but there's also an element of continuity. So the radical change is simply on this one exercise where I'm spending half an hour doing pull-ups because of the rest period. The rest of the session will be EMOM. I'm not yet prepared to do, what some people recommend. 3 and 4 hour sessions. Obviously they're only recommending a couple of sessions a week, but during those couple of sessions they're talking about 3 or 4 hours. I think it sounds valid. It sounds viable. Hammer the muscles, give them something to worry about, something to recover from, and then let them recover. Feed them up and recover. It sounds very valid to me. 3 or 4 hours, pounding away. Ooh, not quite there yet. Maybe it'll come to it. We'll see. See how it goes. Be like water, comrades. Okay, so we're on 0 kilos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time I got 4 reps. Okay, I should get plenty more than 4, I imagine. Okay, 6. I didn't want to push it. I could have got 7, I think. Wasn't quite ready to push it. 6. Save that one for the last set or two. Right, broskies, comrades. Don't think I'm really pumping up on this. I think it's a diet, lack of carbs. When you don't have carbs, you don't pump up. Yeah, a bit. I mean, it's a bit pumpy, but not tremendous. I've had so many issues this year with the elbow. I mean, I remember I went to Mexico last December, and I spent 42 days in Chetumal, which is a lovely place. I thought, I think it's unknown, I would imagine, but so that's right deep in the south of Mexico. And in December, I remember it was sort of like 29 degrees. It was lovely. It was great. I was out all day in a vest or whatever. I went to the gym 6 days a week. Because what else? What else you can do when you're on holiday? 6 day a week gym. It's something that I enjoy. And again, I recognise that it's not really sustainable from the point of view of building your muscles up, but from the point of view of general fat burning, conditioning, getting the abs to pop and all the rest of it, it works. Okay, and I enjoyed going to the gym. Gyms in Mexico, in my experience, they do tend to be slightly more primitive. They've not got the latest, greatest, shiny chrome stuff. But I find the atmosphere really good. It's almost like a lot of like homemade welded stuff and all that sort of thing. Not in everyone, just in some, I suppose. But and obviously, the prices are extremely cheap. If you've got dollars or pounds. Oh, here we go again. See if we can get 6 again. Ooh. 6, yeah. Okay. Take it. 7 sets. But yeah, I was in Mexico last December and trained a lot. No heavy stuff though, no squats or deadlifts, and even the bench press was done on machines. So a lot of it was sort of like a lot of isolation type stuff. It was all good fun. I enjoyed it in the end. But when I came back home, maybe I paid the price because shortly afterwards I got this. I was doing curls, and for some reason I thought, I'm going to do 10 sets of curls, quite hard. And the next day I felt this pain in my elbow. Yeah, there it was for about 8 months. I should have got it seen to, I suppose. Who knows? I just kept ignoring it. Just I know there were a lot of movements that I couldn't do. I couldn't do deadlifts. I couldn't do I don't know, like triceps, biceps. A lot of stuff I couldn't do. But I just thought, do what you can do. So if I remember correctly, I was struggling to do a proper bench press, but a narrow bench press was fine. I just did what I could, worked around it. Obviously thinking, give, a couple of weeks it'll be right. Just give it a bit longer, it'll be right. Give it a bit longer, it'll be right. It never was. This went on for months. So eventually, I looked up on the internet, how do you cure bad elbows, and it seems to be that there are 9,000 different diagnoses of, elbow problems. So it's, which elbow problem do you have? Well, it's a good guess. It hurts. It seemed to hurt in various places. And some of them were sort of pull your hand back for a minute or 90 seconds, and then go the other way like that, 90 seconds. Okay, let's see if we get another 6. Hold it slowly down. Oh, hard to hold it. Don't feel happy about that, but just in case it helps something. Definitely 6. But yeah, eventually I worked out on my own. Just hold a kettlebell in your hand, hanging down, and just move it like that. Okay, and at least it gave instant relief. Just moving a kettlebell like that, instant relief. Okay, so I thought, let's take this a little bit further. Then I saw this lot on YouTube doing this with a hammer. So you imagine that's a hammer. Doing that with a hammer. I was doing some of that as well. With a hammer, lightweight, nothing to it. So I tried that and I thought, yeah, that might be slightly better than the kettlebell. Okay. But then I thought, well, let's go the whole hog. So I got a fairly long piece of dumbbell rod and I put a little weight on the end. I'm doing the same thing. So you can imagine this, about 15 inches long with a weight on the end. And that was hard. And it was extremely effective. And I found that within a week or so, the problem had more or less gone. But yeah, I wasted a lot of time. I didn't waste the time, I did other stuff, so I worked around it. You can also do a lot of other stuff, work around it. But yeah, my arm work was neglected, as well as some other stuff. I spent most of the year doing cardio. I was doing a lot of running and biking, which when the weather picks up in the UK where I am, it's what I fancy. Yeah, so let's say I've been doing this for so long. You got to do whatever keeps it fresh. Here we've got 2 sets left. 2 more sets. Six. Yeah, 1 more set after this. So yeah, all last year was a lot of it was focused on cardio, a lot of running, a lot of biking, a lot of rowing, because I found they were all activities that didn't bother my elbow at all. You know, even though rowing is obviously moving the elbow, but I found it quite pleasant. So I assumed it was actually helping. Yeah, I mean, I was hitting some 2 hour sessions on the Zone 2 jogs, which, you know, I'll be the first to say that's not it's not ideal from a hypertrophy perspective. But when it's sunshiny, you know, just for that brief period of time in the UK when the weather's nice, you know, it's just so enjoyable to be outside. You know, because most, you know, like eight months of the year, 9 months of the year, it's just grey. Yeah, and that's another reason why, you know, I'm such a fan of Mexico. You know, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of negatives about Mexico, but if you're there on holiday, tourist, or, you know, short stay or whatever. I mean, I lived there for a year at one point. I spent a whole year there as a student. But if you're there for a relatively brief period and you don't have any great responsibilities, you know, the weather is absolutely dependable. You know, you can depend that sun is going to be out all the time. You know, you could be swimming in January and February, you know, in the open sea. It's doable. And you know, for all the advantages of the UK, you know, the weather is, in my opinion, is not it's not. Yeah, it might be good for practical purposes, but for enjoyment, I wouldn't say so. You know, I like the sun, whatever you say, I like the sun. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, can we get 6 again? Five. I'm still at 5. And I also find that, you know, from a training perspective, from a training point of view, I don't know if it's vitamin D, I don't know if it's simply psychological, but the sun being out makes it all better. That's what I find. Yeah, it's just simply more motivation. I mean, I suppose part of the motivation is you can walk around with a t-shirt or a vest on. You know, you're not sort of like encased in clothing. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, you know, my time in Mexico had quite an impact on me. Yeah, I'm probably, you know, in the area where I live, I'm the first to get the shorts on and the last to get the shorts off. Yeah, I really hate the constriction of trousers and jumpers and coats and all the rest of it. I don't mind a long sleeve t-shirt. I find that tolerable, you know, especially for running. But yeah, that seems to be a lasting legacy of my time in Mexico. Shorts, t-shirts, vests, just shorts, all that sort of thing. And I find that the will to live, the will to train, goes up massively when the sun is bright. So here in the old UK, you've got to work at it. But I think after all these years, I'm going to keep going. And I think that's another aspect of, you know, for the people who advocate very low frequency of training. You know, when you actually like training, when you like the feeling, you know, there's a heightened sensory awareness that comes with training. You know, you feel alive. It's not like when you're sitting down watching telly or whatever, where you sort of like nod off 7 o'clock at night. When you're training, you feel alive. So I think that's one of the plus points for frequent training. But I wouldn't say it was good from the results point of view. Let's do it. Five and a hold. That's it. Pull up, done. I don't know if you can see that, but last time on the EMOM, what do we get? 10, 7, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. This time on the 3 minutes with a 5 kilo, 10, 7, 6, 6, 6, and with body weight, 0 kilo, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5. Okay. Relatively hard to compare. It's apples to oranges. But there's no great failure or anything. Nothing went drastically wrong. So we'll take that for a win. So that's just the first exercise I'm doing for a 3-minute rest period. The rest of them, as I said, I'm going to eat them. I'm not quite ready for the 3-hour session. Yeah, I think the abs are more or less, they're as good as I want them to be. That's what counts. I see no great reason to go lower than that. In fact, I'm anticipating that that's going to be a high point for abs for a while. But just give it to the end of February. I'll reevaluate. So if I've gone fluffy again, I will remedy it in March, and so on and so forth. You can't really go wrong. As long as you don't make drastic, massive, stupid swings. As long as you don't sort of like gain 3 stone in a week or whatever. Something ridiculous. Yeah. And if you keep it on a relatively even keel, you're gonna either burn a bit of fat or build an ounce of muscle or whatever. Yeah. Let's be realistic. A lot of this muscle that I'm supposedly building, it's just recovering what was there previously. Yeah. But previously, when I was at my most muscular, I was at my fattest. So I think that the procedure is something like over a relatively short period of time. If you knew what you were doing, which beginners just don't. If you knew what you were doing, you'd probably get maximum muscle size within about a year or so. Maybe even less if you really went for it. A few months if you really went for. Honestly, it sounds quite odd, but you get your natural limit. Within the year, I'd say. I wouldn't say that, if you knew what you were doing and if you carried it out exactly, you probably need some sort of a coach or whatever. What I'm saying now is, is almost the opposite of what I did in reality. What I did in reality, I look back and cringe. For me, I wasted, most of my beginner's honeymoon period, dieting down. Which is a stupid mistake, yeah. Now thinking about it, I'd have been better off, dieting down before I really did the weights. Maybe did a bit of body weight stuff or whatever, just to get ready for it. And then once I started hitting the weights in earnest, then eating like there's no tomorrow, just to get those initial gains as fast as possible. You can imagine, you'd be getting up to sort of like a 3-plate squat or whatever. Yeah? Really, really quickly. I can imagine you could, within a few months as a beginner, I reckon that, most people could be hitting a 200 kilo deadlift. I'm not saying that that's going to be easy. That's going to be a struggle of your life, really. But after that, you know, you could spend a very long time to get to a, I don't know, a 250 kilo deadlift. But what I'm saying is that you know, for all intents and purposes, you could max out your muscularity in about a year. But after that, you know, you could spend a very, very long time trying to refine your physique, so you've got the maximum muscularity with the, you know, the least body fat that you're capable. And that could be over multiple cycles of bulking and cutting. You know, not massively, not massive pendulum swings, but you know, small bulk, small cuts, gentle. Now that could take a long time to get into a really good shape, and maybe build up your lagging areas. So you know, obviously you can do the big compounds and you build up sort of like, you know, obviously you get the legs and the bum and the upper back and the chest. That seems to come easy. What seems to lag, you know, on most people, I imagine, is, you know, arms, shoulders, calves, forearms, and all the little stuff that you don't think about too much. Now, even the neck. You know, I've done very little neck work in my time, but yeah, even the neck you could work upon. But I think you know, once you maxed out as far as you can go naturally, I think that then, you know, I'm not, you know, there's no way that I'm going to say go on steroids. I think that's, you know, to me, going on steroids, you know, it's a completely stupid thing to do. You know, you've negated the health aspect. You know, what pride is there in doing it from steroids? I don't know. You know, maybe for a very few, you know, there's some money in it. So yeah, for the extreme tip-top elite, maybe. But for the masses of young men and young women who take steroids, I think it's an absolutely ridiculous decision. Yeah. Anyway, I think that, you know, once you've actually, you know, maxed out your muscularity, once you've got maxed out muscularity and leanness, then I think that what you can then do is to maintain it in the face of improving your cardiorespiratory fitness, which you can improve on that for decades. So that to me is a very, you know, that's a decent life path, if you like. Yeah, build up the muscle, build up the quality of the physique by ensuring you've got lean muscularity. Work on your cardio long term whilst maintaining your muscularity. Yeah, I mean, at some point in time, you know, it's going to happen to me soon enough. You know, it's probably happening already. Yeah, I mean, I'm 58 in a week's time. Yeah, at some point in time, it's all going to go backwards. Yeah, but then the struggle is keep what you can for as long as you can. So to me, that, you know, that is a pretty abbreviated whole life plan. Don't know if you agree with it, but it makes sense to me, and it's actually what I've been doing mostly. You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. If I knew if I'd have known at the beginning what to do, my life would have been so much easier. But I take the hard road. Okay, bye.